Alright, so what I'm going to do is give a time. I know there are plenty of farmers here who have not heard about Trace and Save. It's all new to you. So a lot of my clients obviously do know about Trace and Save. So I'll just sort of give a broad background, but not too many details, because in the talks of Craig and of Graham and of Portia, you're going to pick up a lot of what I've said now in more detail. So don't worry if you don't get everything I say now. Because I'm going to be very quick because time is limited today. Okay. So Trace and Save is encompassing of actual part of sustainability. A lot of noise is here. Okay, I'll just carry on while Craig sorts that out. So the SWAN system is basically the foundation of Trace and Save. There are a lot of factors that come into play alongside that, like animal welfare, labour, herbicide and pesticide management, biodiversity. We're not going to handle all that today. We're going to look at the SWAN system, and we're going to then especially focus on the soil health today. So it's going to be a very focused day and part of it. Alright, so just to tell us the SWAN system, it consists of soil, water, atmosphere, nutrients, and the interactiveness of each one of those different factors. So as part of Trace and Save, we will be concentrating on that today, and specifically on the soil part. So what is important for you today to understand, and you will pick it up in the talks as we carry on today, is the interaction of the indicators. So in between all these indicators of atmosphere, which is your carbon footprint, nutrients, in other words, nutrients coming in and going out of the farm, and your efficiency on that, soil, which is specifically soil health, which you'll get a much better picture of what's going on at the end of the day, and water. And you'll pick up how interactive they are. Each indicator will react to the other indicator, and each indicator will have an influence on the next indicator. So I know that sounds foreign at the moment, but as you go through the talk, you'll pick up that happens. So, for example, if you're talking healthy soil, you are also talking better water efficiency, but you also need good soil for that, as an example. If you've got a healthy soil, you'll have less gas emissions and more potential on the nutrients you use. So you can pull a line to each one. So in the sub-indicators, you'll get an idea of how that works. So the main trick, I feel, of Trace and Save, you can have all kinds of details and indicators, but the problem is, how do you monitor over time? How do you see what the correlations is of them over time? And what's their reaction with each other? And the only way you can do that is actually with a database. So we really want this for you to get the feeling that you're taking control of the situation. So to sum it up, you've got each farmer on Trace and Save has its own research platform. So all the indicators you're going to get and all the interactions are going to be in your hand. All the charts, all the maps. We then put us in a position for a preferred product because the consumer can just see, is the industry getting better in sustainability or not? The sustainability has actually become quite loose. The word become very loose. People abuse it. They talk about certain facets and then they claim sustainability, where sustainability is more holistic. So there's been a tremendous amount of greenwashing. And for me, I've got my master's degree in sustainability, and I've brought this whole thing picture in cooperation with the University of Free State. And one of the main goals is to try and stop that. So the only way you can stop that is to show objectivity. So in other words, measured indicators and what's the influence of each one. But for you to have that database, that you become part of a research platform where you can test sustainability on all facets of indicators you're going to see as we carry on. So from there, year-to-year improvement is actually what for me as a consultant what it's about. It's going to be better. I talk without the mark. Would you guys prefer I talk without the mark? We'll probably right there.
Try it. Alright, I'm going to try. Will it be hoarse at the end of the day? Can you guys hear at the back there? It's all good. Craig, you will definitely hear. It's going to be a problem. We will try and get it right through the morning, but I can hear it, I can see frowns on the faces, so it's clearly irritating. Right. So, for me, personally, as working with my clients in the field, it was important to see processes. So I always said, this is basically 20 years of research that's gone into this, but it was for me about processes. And I wanted to see, can I measure where you are, but can I measure your improvement over time as well? So it's all about where are you improving from year to year. But how do you prevent greenwashing? How do you make sure that you're objective? How do you make sure you bring everything into account over time? And that is the power of a database. So a lot of programming you're going to see, it's very, it's my program again. Yeah, you're running a bit there. A lot of the programming you're going to see, you guys, is not standalone programming. And I don't expect you to understand that, but when you programming that, you work with a database, which then makes the research platform, which then allows us to go to universities, then from students to do their results and even their doctorates. Portia's busy doing her PhD through Stellenbosch and the university in Germany at the moment. And to be able to take this data and to use it to your advantage and to correlate. We just learned we know nothing. So the guys that come with information to you, and they know what's going on, then stick to it because we don't know what's going on. What we see in our database, we learn every day. We suddenly see, we're seeing a correlation with this and this, and we see this guy gets this result. And then we can go and look on his farm per camp, but we can go look into farm, we can look into area, and we are simply learning every day. And we never want to arrive. No one will ever arrive. A person says that he arrived, doesn't believe, that doesn't understand it's God's creation out there. And God's creation, you're not going to ever understand this. So just go out and rather look what he's doing and learn from it, and let's cooperate with the ecology and how it works. So that's the power of a database. So, and there's a difference between research, which is in Afrikaans parcel, what's the English word for that? But just what's it? So talk louder. No, I'm not asking the word research and navigation. No, you can either do area research, in other words, little plot research, or you can say, but listen, if I can monitor systems, in other words, actual farm systems, and I can join the dots of all the indicators you're going to see now, and I can see where the results are, and who's doing what, then I'm now doing the systems research. And that is, especially the Germans are very interested in that, because then it really becomes very real. Yes, we do need the research, which is the best plant, and which is that we do need that. But the real money lies in systems research. And this system allows you to do that and to cross-check it. So, just to give a quick background, to break it down one step further, we are going to concentrate on the soil health. Okay? A lot of you up to now have been working with soil fertility, the chemical side. And I'm telling you haven't even touched ground of potential. When you work with a holistic picture of bringing the whole picture together, which you're going to hear from Graham today and the rest of us, you're going to see there's a gold mine of potential that you can unlock. And it's going to be your choice to unlock it or not. And the biggest thing is going to be to move your parameters of thinking and to believe what can be. Luckily, I've got a lot of dynamic farmers sitting here today who have moved a long way down that road. And we've also all blown out with these results we get. Very low levels of nitrogen. In some cases, guys haven't thrown nitrogen for the last year. And the tons that have not gone down, my friend, they've actually gone up. So if you understand the whole story of regenerative soils and what it can do for you, and you can take that on, you're going to be very surprised what can be done for you. And remember, we're in a country of inflation. So your costs are going up. So if you are not prepared to look at ways to drop your costs and increase your production, inflation will beat you. If you're an excellent farmer, it will take a longer time to beat you. But beat it will. So you've got to follow those two paths. So the second big part is the water part, W part of SWAN. So we're not going to spend a lot of time there today, but it's a crucial part and they're all interactive. So water holding capacity, water efficiency, effluent management, and the protection of your resources. That is actually going to be in your faces. And if you're not going to do something about it, one, you're going to lose potential because water costs money. And two, you could have done so much more with water if you managed it properly. And we're all very hesitant. Thank goodness there's guys that have put moisture meters in, they have the programs, but we also need to know what water's coming in, what product's going out, and what's efficiency going on in the field. Carbon footprint. Craig will be talking a lot more on that, so he'll break it down and he'll show you the economics of that. And we see a carbon footprint as an indicator of economics because it encompasses costs. And if you're more efficient at your carbon footprint, you're also dropping costs and you're also starting to unlock your potential. But just like water and emissions, until we handle soil health, we're actually not starting on the right foot. So you must understand that's why we are hammering soil health today. Then mineral balance, nutrients in, nutrients out. We make no excuse of it. We use the Holland system, mineral accounting system, which is a gate, nutrient in and out. So it basically just says what nutrients went in, what went out with your meat and with your product, milk or whatever, and what is your efficiency of it, what is you going to do about it. Now I've got very few clients that are running better than 30% utilization of the nitrogen coming in. So, and you may know that in Holland when they use the system, you're below 80%, you started paying tax on it. And above a certain level, you started getting fined. So, a quick breakdown of soil health. What we're going to handle today is life. Now, the indicators we've chosen have been chosen over the last 10 years. The indicators we've chosen are not the best. We had to consider recovering massive areas. We had to consider costs, because we started with Elaine Ingram samples and Zil Clapperton samples, and they cost $1,500, and then we took one sample per farm, and we didn't learn anything from Pecan. After we got to this position, then we can go and do those things again in focus, but we needed to get a focused way of doing it. So these indicators we chose in the end had to act with each other, one, and secondly they had to be economical, and thirdly they had to be speedy, because we want results. And you'll see through today, through the talk of Portia and Craig, how they interact, and how we on the database to go statistically test it, and see what are we achieving or aren't we achieving. Okay. So I'm not going to go through too much on them now because it's going to be handled very well as we go through. The actual fertility side, that's what we do, and then we measure structure as well. And then we go and find the interaction and the correlations to water and nutrient flow. So we test everything statistically, and we use institutions. We like Stellenbosch and University of Free State to say, listen, come and help us here. Trace and Save, I actually went to the University of Free State and said, help me here. And then they said, well, come and do your study. So I was called after you. So you'll end up with your own research platform. So if you want to find, for example, under fertility on your own research platform, you'll click on the plus there. And for example, you'll page down to potassium, and you'll click on potassium, and you'll map or your chart. Whichever one you want to do with that. All right. So, yes, on all those indicators of water, you will get either a chart or a map. So you can draw each one as you go along. You can take charts and you can intercompare, and with your consultant you can dig deeper or you can dig deeper. But it's what I want you to understand today, and you'll pick it up through today, that this is a research platform. So you become part of a system which will be analyzed, where you are and what potential is. So your data is totally protected. But the bigger picture of being part of the growth and correlations, that will be on Trace and Save, which you'll use to your advantage. So what's more important for me than all these wonderful maps with all the different indicators that we're dealing with, and the correlations, that's all very important. But for what's more important for me, that you develop a story. So where are you at? Where you're going to? What's happening in your process as you go forward? So if you just got a result of a map on a piece of paper, then it's just a map on a piece of paper. It might be pretty, but what does that actually do for you? What you need is a story. You need a vision where you're going to. You need to know where you're at and where you're going to. And if you can't get that, then there's a problem with the system you're following. So this is systems research, and we want to develop a story. And I suppose visually you can see where you're at as well. This is a starting point. It's important to have a starting point. Where are you at, and what are you going to do about it? And where you're going next. All right. Then from the consultant, there are consultants here that want to get involved. If you get involved with us, you will have an app to your app which will allow you to analyze. So it then takes everything, and you can then, for example, you say, but listen, I want to see the correlation between total nitrogen, carbon to nitrogen ratio, and how much mineralization is happening in that phase, what reactions on the soil life with fungi, those kind of questions. The app will help you to pull all that together, that you can see visually, but also that you can analyze it. We have there, you have our own lab, biological lab is here with us, and then the chemical samples we see there. So Portia will be talking a lot on the correlations of soil biology, specifically fungi. So for example, you'll see when we deal with potential mineralization. Now you'll be hearing a lot about mineralization from Graham and potential after my talk. It's all about regenerative soils. It's all about the three things: soil biology, the structure and the chemical. And then how you're going to get to that position that you can get mineralization happening. Now what we've used fungi, and we've seen relationships with fungi too, and we're getting relationships with mineralization. And that you'll hear later from Portia. So again, to get to answers like this would not have happened if we didn't have a database to work with. in a database that we can take this information and we can monitor processes. By far the biggest agriculture database in South Africa. And I was told that by Salamor. So, another step. We have to make sure and get out of our habits of treating our farm as one unit. So many times I've been onto farms, and the answer is being on your farm. The problem is you don't know where it is because you're not monitoring a camp to its own potential. So there is a tremendous gold mine. And if by chance the answer is not on your farm, which I seriously doubt, because I've never found a farm where the answer hasn't been on his own farm, even if it's one camp. There will in your district be. And then what's that person doing and what you're going to do to do it. So are you willing to teach your cows as individuals? I mean, you've got wonderful programs, but you're dealing with where the bucks is, which is your farm, your actual pastures and your camp. I put 30 N per grazer. That's how I do it. You guys are losing potential if you think that way. And we've got to get to a point where you can say, what is the character and potential of this camp? And what am I going to do to unlock that potential? Those are the new questions you've got to ask yourselves. And are you being put into position to ask that question? Are you being put in a position to ask those questions encompassing soil health? In other words, the life, the fertility, the structure. If you're not, you do not know the answer. So for example, if I've got a camp and I'm taking life, fertility, and structure, what is my position on that camp? Simply, am I ready? Am I green? Is something red? Which you'll understand this all clearer as we move on in the day. I mean, I understand it's just colors at the moment. You will pick it up as we go. So if I am green here, the soil is ready to work as far as life goes, it's ready to work as fertility, structure is good. But I've got legumes, or if it's green and orange in places, but it's still red as far as mineralization goes. Why? What's the reason? Okay. Then if we go to the soil life indicators, so like I told you, we had plenty of indicators. We've looked all over the world, and there are better life indicators, although I'm beginning to doubt that at Porsche. But the correlation between them and results that we can correlate to mineralization, where the soil starts working for you, that we can do with these indicators. So from there, you're in a position to start asking the next question. Then we can go and take the 1,000, 2,000 rand sample. But to randomly take 2,000 sample and not know the status of the soil is actually going to just be very expensive exercise. So, today you're going to hear a lot about nitrogen. Because the way of using our nitrogen is a problem. It's taking our potential away. It is an extremely important nutrient, one of the most important. So before I start, I want to say that because sometimes I end up with a talk and people say, yeah, nitrogen is a problem. And per se, how can that be if it's so important? Okay. Organic levels of nitrogen, you're going to be shocked today when you're dealing with organic levels of nitrogen today. There is very few farmers that don't have up to 5 tons of nitrogen per hectare on their farm. Their farms running as high as 15 tons of total nitrogen on their farms. I don't think I've got anybody under 5 tons. I just want this to sink in. You guys can absorb this because I don't think you've ever heard this before. And we can prove it to you. We've got the data. Once again, how would we know this and analyze if we didn't have a database? We've got a nutrient flow. We monitor nutrients in and nutrients out. There are very few farmers that are utilizing more than 30 to 40% of their nitrogen coming into the system. So you are once again bringing far more in than what you are taking out. the atmosphere above your head. Let you know how much nitrogen there is. I want to change the question. And if you can't change that now, you actually got problems for the rest of the day. Is if I've got all this nitrogen, how do I bring it to its potential? What am I going to do? If it is there, and I suddenly withdraw nitrogen, I go yellow. So I've become bag nitrogen dependent. Why? Not because you're running out. Because you're not unlocking the potential of soil health. You do not have regenerative soils. You don't know what economic potential this is for you. And if you can't change that mindset, then you're not going to be able to unlock that full potential that lies in your hands. So the question must change. So when you've got legumes, so as you get your whole soil health better, your legumes are going to function better as well because it's now in an environment it wants to be. That nitrogen in the air, the nodules, if those nodules burst and release the rhizomes into the soil, it's going to be released into soil which then can then cycle it and bring it back to the plant. And you'll be hearing a lot more from that from Graham and the other speakers. Okay, so water holding capacity, and that's why we talk about the water holding capacity is such an important starting point for water management. So if one comes right back, I can pull it right back to every one of those indicators that you just saw on soil health. It will be influenced by that. So that's your starting point that you work with. You've got to be able to measure the efficiency of water used against your product. I mean, how many times I've got clients they got water moisture meters. They know what their wilting point, they know what their saturation point, they know when the plant is under stress, the graphs are beautiful, they're all there. But when you measure back to efficiency for water in and product out, it's not very good. So that's an important starting point. Please, that's a starting point. Water moisture meters for me was one of the biggest breakthroughs. Because we at one point, I remember the days we got water in the rain. But before that, we actually had 2 wet winters, and we were overdoing the water in winter. And then we were struggling in the summer because our systems were not the proper systems with enough water down. And our structure wasn't good enough to hold that water, putting enough down and then allowing it to dry properly, which is what we want. We want air in the soil. So we need to monitor that. You'll get a picture just now. And then as far as minerals and effluent and biodiversity as part of the water. So we're not going to spend too much time there. I don't want to underemphasize the importance of that. And you will pick up from Graham's talk and every talk is directly correlated to soil health. That's where we worked out on one farm that you could redo, just by water holding capacity, he can double his dam size. So you must measure that over years, have the ability to measure that efficiency over years, and have the ability to measure in your irrigation rainfall, what is grown, what's grown on the dry lands against water you use. Craig will be talking on the economics of doing this thing. There's a fallacy out there that if you do sustainability, you will lose money. It's the biggest fallacy. If you do sustainability, you'll make more money. And if you do it properly, you will not even initially lose money. It's how you do it and having the insight and knowing which camps are ready and which camps are not ready. Even if a camp is not ready, fertility-wise, and you need nitrogen out the bag to help you because you do need mass above the ground to get carbons below the ground, it's still got to be in balance. Because if you don't use nitrogen in balance, you end up using nitrogen as a steroid. And that just once again hurts your whole soil quality and soil health. So Craig will show you that. That's what he did. His PhD was on this. Carbon sequestration is the whole carbon footprint. When I started this with enteric fermentation, I thought to get a carbon neutral farm would be impossible. We've had a carbon neutral farm, and the farmer is here today. I won't look at him, I won't embarrass him. But it is possible. So even enteric, all the farting and burping of the animal is so big that I actually thought it wasn't possible. But then again, you have hectares of which you could sequestrate carbon out of the air and put it in the ground. And if you work out that volume-wise over an area, you are playing such a positive role in the balance of the environment. And we need to tell the people out there that can understand your contribution of what you do. So we do have some of this carbon neutral, and these guys are moving closer and closer every day. So yes, it's good for the environment. Yes, it's good to have a good carbon footprint. But the big issue for me is dropping your cost and getting your efficiency up. That for me is the starting goal. So you need to compare between years and how you're improving. And what we do, scope 1, 2, and 3. So we take responsibility right through to the roughage you bought and what that person used. We don't do like Avis did. They said we carbon neutral. They just took their office and their paper in and out said we carbon neutral. I said, oh, okay. What about the car? What about the fuel going in the car? What about everything else? We take everything into account. So there's a lot of honesty and truth in our carbon footprint. Mineral balance, like I said, nutrient flow, what's in and out, a very powerful tool. Simply positioning yourself, once again, how are you doing, what is the potential, what are other people doing, what must I do? If I don't have the database to connect all the indicators you saw, in other words, right back to soil health, soil life, to water, I would not be able to answer that question. That is a system. That's systems research. And unfortunately, no research station can offer that to you. That's why we're being approached by institutions. Yeah, you can see this farm has got a 29%, brought in 300 and something in, not just through the bag, through your concentrates, through roughage you bought, through lucerne you bought. And of that, he's only used 114, so he's at a 20-something potential. Why? What we're going to do about it. Same thing with over time. What is last year? How have I improved? Over years, how have I improved? Has this farm got it right or has improved? Have you or haven't you? You need to ask those questions because every one of these questions is bucks. It's money. We're talking money now. And we're talking lowering the risk of your farm in time. Because if you work on sustainability, you will drop your costs. You're taking risk away because you're more, I'm going to quote Johnny at the back there, he said, future-proof the farm because you're lowering risk. You will make more money, but you'll also lower risk and you will survive better. Alright, so just finally, before I hand over to Graham, we also include other things. So we actually not, SWAN is a big part, but it's not everything. It doesn't include our herbicide pesticide management program. It doesn't include, well, biodiversity. You need to know what the biodiversity, you need to go through your checklist in biodiversity. We're not concentrating there today, so that's all there as well. Okay? Like I said, yes, you can look at the indicators and you'll get beautiful maps and charts and analyzability of all those indicators with everything else, but you also have to understand that in the SWAN system, soil, water, atmosphere, and nutrients, it all interacts. How do they interact? Is it measurable? If you don't measure it, you don't know, you're not going to know what your next step is. So this is one amazing, powerful tool. I know I developed it, but I didn't actually know how powerful it was. Because until we actually had the database, we could start statistically finding correlations. It's teaching us what's going on. All right. I'm going to introduce Graham now. And can you just... think I'm going to hold back on the questions right now because a lot of what I said is going to be built on. So we'll ask you with 2 sets of questions. One questions will be after Graham, but we'll keep it short. And then we'll have a question at the end of the day. Just remember that you'll have the whole afternoon to ask Graham.